Hello everyone! A few weeks ago I covered the Gul'dan in the Stranger comic, and thankfully they've released a part 2 which tells about Blackhand and Orgrim Doomhammer. A couple of you requested if I could talk about this, so I will, but be warned, spoilers ahead. If you don't want any spoilers for Warlords, then thank you for tuning in and please turn off the video right now. Like I said, the comic is mainly about Blackhand, but Orgrim Doomhammer and his weapon called the Doomhammer also play a big part in the story. To understand it all, you first need to know the prophecy and story behind the Doomhammer from our reality. The weapon is called Doomhammer, for when its owner takes it into battle, it spells doom for the enemy. The prophecy states that the last of the Doomhammer line will use it to bring first salvation and then doom to the orc people. Then it will pass into the hands of one who is not of the Blackrock clan, all will change again and it will once again be used in the cause of justice. For our reality, the prophecy, in my mind, is fulfilled. Orgrim Doomhammer, he used the Doomhammer to bring salvation to his people by stepping up and taking control of the Horde. His friend Durotan had told him about Gul'dan and how Gul'dan had corrupted and used the Horde for his own agenda, to which Orgrim he stepped up, he killed the Shadow Council, he killed his war chief, and he nearly killed Gul'dan himself. That was his biggest mistake. He left Gul'dan alive, which allowed Gul'dan to betray Orgrim and the Hordes. This is the doom part in my opinion, Orgrim sticking with his honor and then sending his troops after Gul'dan because he just couldn't let the blight, the corruption of Gul'dan go unpunished. This did cause the Horde to lose the war and their first invasion failed. Orgrim himself, he was not killed at the end of the war, he was imprisoned, but he managed to get himself out and he roamed the world for a while until the moment came that the son of Durotan, Thrall, found his way back to his people and entered the story. Thrall met with Orgrim Doomhammer and together they worked on liberating the orcs from their internment camps. During one of these liberations, Orgrim, he was stabbed in the back by a human soldier and this wound took his life. Before he passed away though, he gave his armor and weapon to Thrall as well as the title of War Chief.
For Doomhammer!
Then it will pass into the hands of one who is not of the Blackrock clan. All will change again and it will once again be used in the cause of justice. Thrall reformed the Horde and he made it new, doing his best to find a place for his people. He used the Doomhammer for justice and this is how I see the prophecy being fulfilled. Now that's how it happened in our reality, and as you might know by now, things go a little bit different on Draenor. In the comic, we find out that Orgrim, he got scared and he tried to prevent the prophecy of the Doomhammer. He feared that he would be the one to bring doom to the orc people, so he returned to the pool where the weapon was made to unmake its destiny, but still at the same time keep the weapon. This cowardly action displeased the elements and they took the Doomhammer away from Orgrim. Many orcs then tried to reclaim the weapon from the pool. Orgrim never told them what happened, but they figured it out for themselves. Many tried and all lost their lives to the elements. In the story, we also see that the Blackrock clan, it's surrounded by ogres. The ogres, they outnumber the orcs, and the orcs have very little to no weapons left to fight with. Their chieftain hears that Orgrim is near the pool. When death is near, it's natural for thoughts to turn towards our greatest failure. Orgrim thoughts brought him to the pool, which confirmed to the war chief that the rumors were true. The elements had indeed taken the Doomhammer away. Orgrim tells his chief that if he would order it, if he would ask it, Orgrim would sacrifice himself and try to get the weapon back. But the chieftain, he will do it himself. He has no pride or greed in his heart at this moment. All he wants is to save his people, and his own fate is irrelevant. Exactly that is what spares his life. The lava, it surrounds the chieftain, it's crawling up from his hand to his face, completely covering him, but it does him no harm. The elements, they recognize what Blackhand wants, and they also see that he has a part to play in the Doomhammer's destiny. For one night, for one battle, Blackhand is allowed to wield the weapon, craft mighty weapons for the rest of the clan, and crush the ogres surrounding them. Like I said, the lava did not completely burn the chieftain, but it did take his hand. His clan now calls him Blackhand, and in the comic, Blackhand recognizes this as a new name. So before these events, he was called something else. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what that name was. We don't know how he got his Blackhand name in our reality, but what we do know is that Orgrim thought that his chieftain now held the Doomhammer. Then it will pass into the hands of one who is not of the Blackrock clan. All will change again, and it will once again be used in the cause of justice. This is why Orgrim thought that now the Doomhammer rightfully belonged to Blackhand. However, Blackhand explains that the elements told him that this was not the day of prophecy. He gives the Doomhammer back to Orgrim since it's still part of his legacy, and he claims that he has a legacy of his own to fulfill. That's where the comic ends, and in my opinion it raises a lot more questions. For example, does crafting weapons with the Doomhammer somehow make them better or legendary, or does it just make it easier? Because why didn't they just craft weapons with a different hammer? What about Blackhand's name? What was he called before all of this? And what did he do in our time to receive the name Blackhand? Finally, there's the question about the prophecy. I already made a video as to what's going to happen with Orgrim, and again, spoiler alert, he is going to die.
That's all you can muster? Weak!
What news from the front?
Brother! Didn't anyone ever tell you not to play with fire?
He's going to realize that his chieftain is actually the bad guy and he's going to turn against him. But how does that fit in with the prophecy? The last of the Doomhammer line will use it to bring first salvation and then doom to the orc people. Is this salvation by standing up to his chieftain? Perhaps, but like I said, he just dies in that moment and I don't think anybody picks up the Doomhammer. I personally believe that Kairos and Garrosh messing with time has messed up the prophecy and we'll just never see it happen on Draenor. A similar thing happened with Velen the Prophet. His visions of the future also turn out to be false. This caused a couple of the Draenei to step away from Velen and actually join the Legion, so it seems like a logical explanation. It could also be that we're still missing a part of this storyline, but for now, I'll just go with the most logical explanation, and that seems to be this reason. No matter what the reason might be, this is me done for today. That's all there really is to tell about the comic. I can't wait for the next part. New lore is always good. Hopefully we'll get some answers to these questions. Thank you all very much for watching, everyone, and until next time, guys, see ya!
Our bond is iron. Our will unbreakable. Who will stand against us?